Welcome to the Ultimate Intimacy Podcast with your hosts, Nick and Amy, and a couple of our dogs. Hopefully you don't hear them chime in as well. Hopefully they don't have something to say about these subjects, but...
Oh, I love my dogs. Okay.
Amy loves her dogs, and...
You don't?
I love them not quite as much as...
Probably not.
You love them.
I don't think anyone can love their dogs as much as I do.
Yeah, they're pretty good. But
if anything ever happens to Nick, which I think he'll live to 100, the way he takes care of himself. But if anything ever happened, you would find me on a farm with dozens of dogs that I have rescued.
You would find her on like the Lifetime channel or something of hoarders.
Possibly. I'm not going to lie. Possibly.
Lady's husband dies and she has 297 dogs.
I would be addicted. You know how people have addictions? Like I would have an addiction of rescuing dogs. Like in my heart, that's how big it is for dogs. Anyways, that's enough about me.
Yeah. That's,
Not that you cared.
I kind of got a subject. But anyways, welcome. Today's episode, we're answering more of your tough questions. We have people emailing us, and some of their emails are like, you guys suck. What, how can you say that this is bad? Or, whatever.
They don't say that.
And, well,
Nick might be embellishing a little bit.
But we are going to answer or respond to some of the messages and feedback that we got. And hopefully this will be fun and interesting and enlightening for all of you. Because that's why you listen to us.
You mean enlightening?
Enlightening, because that's why you listen to us, is for us to enlighten you, hopefully. And provide good food for thought and information that are going to bless your marriage.
It's probably not the best answers. Don't have the best answers, but I like that word, food for thought. Hopefully you can be done listening and be like, I either need to implement or not implement, or they're crazy. I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to do that one. I like that idea. I hate that idea.
If this were on a TV channel, this would be more like your MTV or something, where you're like, the questions are just.
You mean this episode?
Yeah, the questions we're getting are a little different.
These questions are kind of like, what? I don't know. I would be interested to see some of the feedback on this episode, because these are some more tough questions that some of them, I think people could disagree with us big time on this one. I don't know. Why don't you tell us?
All right. So Let's dive in. Amy's going to read us the question, and then we're going to talk about the question.
Okay, remember these questions are things we either got in a comment or a DM or an email, and we're just going to read them as is. So just
unedited.
It is what it is,
unedited version.
Unedited.
It's still, if you have kids in the car or something, it's still the PG version.
Yeah, there's nothing bad in this. No, there's nothing. There's not. I mean, we never talk anything bad, but there's no that kind of talk. I don't think. Actually, there might be a couple talking about intimacy. I don't know. We'll see about the list.
We'll see what happens.
Maybe adults only on this one. Okay. Question number 1. Where is the line between wanting to connect with one's spouse but also having respect for each other, especially when it comes to unsolicited touching each other in sensitive places, groin, chest, etc.? A friend of mine suggests in her relationship, because she wants sexual touch sometimes and enjoys connecting with her husband sexually, but she doesn't appreciate when her husband just grabs her by the boob, for example, without consent or warning. How can one healthily communicate that boundary without making their spouse feel rejected? And then she goes on to say, personally, I don't care how needy, quote, a man is. A woman's body is her own, and she should not need to feel like she's a plaything for her spouse that he can just grab whenever he feels like it. My friend feels... My friend. Asking for a friend. My friend feels extremely guilty when her husband gets upset because he feels guilty, but a healthy marriage should allow for boundaries, right? That was the question. That was a long... Question statement.
Well, are you winded after reading that? Or do you need
I'm okay.
Oxygen? Do you need to relax a second?
I have to clear my throat. Okay. Do you want me to respond first?
Lead us off. You are the woman.
Okay.
At least
I have a couple things to say on this one. It is our body. And any loving spouse, our husband already knows that.
My body, my choice.
Oh, dear.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
We're not getting into that one. That's a whole nother topic. It is our body. It is our body. But when we get married, we... See, I'm going to get attacked. Whatever way I go with this, I'm going to get attacked.
That's all right. Just own it. Just give your insight and own it.
Okay, this is a hard line. I don't even know how to explain this. It is our body. It's also your body. When I got married, your body became my body became your body.
Know,
but with boundaries. Absolutely with boundaries.
But the thing is you don't want much of my body. I want more of your body than you want of my body. And I'm sure a lot of men and women feel that, right? You're like, I don't want your body. Like,
oh my goodness.
What's attractive about that? But we as men, we're like, I'm attracted to your body.
Thank you. And most husbands will say that about their wives. Most husbands will say that about their wives. Even if their body is not perfect, most husbands will say that about their wife's body. However, we're getting off subject.
Of course, yeah. Let's steer back.
Okay. It is his body, and it's more my body in marriage. When I got married, I committed to being united with him, right? If the marriage was good and he was faithful, like we talked about back in the what is
Submission. Oh,
you were not helping me. You're usually
I didn't know what you were talking about.
You're usually there to like put the words in my mouth.
I just heard what is, and then you're looking at me.
I'm like, it's not seduction.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Submission in marriage. We already did an episode on that. I don't want to get into that because we've already talked all about that. But submission in marriage, in a healthy marriage, yes, that is good. But, okay, she's talking about just grabbing her down there, grabbing her up there, whatever. I think...
I'm guilty of this. Like, we had a video we did, and where I grabbed Amy's butt at the end, and people were commenting on that.
But we were kissing and embracing each other, and then you grabbed my butt. But there's lots of videos and things that go viral, like with a husband walking by, always grabbing the wife's butt, right?
Yes. So we have a little bit of this in our marriage, but it's something that we've talked about, right? Like, I'm like, hey, does that make you feel uncomfortable? Okay. A lot of times I grab Amy's butt. That is my non-verbal way of saying, hey, I really love you. You mean a lot to me. It's not sexual. I'm not grabbing her butt to like start getting crazy in public or things like that. Like,
not in public.
It's a gesture to say, hey, I really love you and I'm here for you. And
that's most husbands, probably.
And yeah, I like your butt.
And that's probably most husbands.
Yeah. But I've talked to Amy about it, and I've said, "Hey, how does that make you feel? Would you rather I don't do that? Is it okay?"
Okay. This is where the answer comes. Okay. Number one, you have to talk about it. If something is bothering you, or it's making you not feel loved, or it's not making you feel safe, or it's just bugging the crap out of you. Talk about it. Like, I think women are really good at being like, I'm just going to ignore it. He likes it. I hate it. But there gets a point with anything, especially this topic, to where if you get so bugged, it's going to do the opposite effect in your marriage. You can't just ignore it anymore. It's literally like bugging deep enough to where it's going to affect other aspects of your marriage. Well, right?
Yeah, and it's also... there's some things that are okay to be done in public and other things that are not okay to be done in public.
I don't even know if she's talking about in public or not.
And then there's things in your own house. Like, it's like, hopefully you're never grabbing your wife's breast in public. But
hopefully not.
If you're in your house and you've talked about that, okay. Whatever.
I would not like that. I do not want Nick grabbing my boobs. Like, I'm sorry. Like, as a playful thing in the kitchen, I don't want that. Like, do I mind him grab my butt once in a while? But like that, it takes a conversation because a husband might not know that. So I have to side with the husband here. If you're doing something and she doesn't say anything, that's kind of her fault.
And
she has to say that.
As a husband, like, I would not just go up and grab Amy's boobs outside the bedroom, right? Like that would feel uncomfortable for me. It'd feel kind of disrespectful. Like, now, so there's a time and a place, right?
There's a time and a place. Exactly. Okay, but that leads me to the next thing. There are times when Nick will grab my butt in the kitchen and I'm not in the mood to have my butt grabbed. And he's not going to know that unless I say something. But my point of this part of the conversation is you can kind of tell when your wife's in a playful mood or a happy mood or if she's not feeling good. That's your job as a husband, is to be able to read your wife. Where is she emotionally? Don't make light of this.
I'm not.
You're going to make a joke out of it. This is serious right now.
Okay.
And then you can make a light of it.
Okay.
When your wife is not in a playful mood, or if she's having a really bad day, or if she's really struggling with something and you can sense that, it is not the time to just be playful and grab her butt, unless, of course, you've talked about it and that brings her out of that mood. But sometimes that's not the time or place the time to do it.
What Amy is saying is know your audience. Like, no,
it's not your audience. It's just your spouse.
I know. I'm just saying, like, that's a saying, right? Know your audience. What's going on around you? What's in the room? How are they going to react? And yeah,
this comes down to, once again, emotional communication and emotional connection, emotional intimacy, whatever you want to call it in your marriage. If you know your spouse, like you really know your spouse, you've had deep discussions with them, you know their feelings, you just kind of know your spouse. Intimacy, right? Into me, see. If you see into your wife, you're going to know this answer.
Yeah.
You're going to know this answer. You're going to already know if she wants to be touched that way, where she likes to be touched, and how she wants to be touched, and when she wants to be touched.
Yeah, and just be smart and know, like, when is appropriate, when's not appropriate. Like,
right.
Just, I mean,
I don't
don't do anything disrespectful. Now, if Amy grabbed my butt and cupped a Phil in public, and palmed my left cheek, I would love it. But anyways, I'm just saying. So, but yeah, know like where you're at, all that stuff.
Oh, if your spouse is a full-on physical touch love language, they're probably fine with all the touch they can get. But once again, did you go on the app and take the quiz? Have you taken the big quiz? Do you know that about your spouse?
Actually, I'm all talk because Amy wanted to get crazy in a public space one time, and I denied her.
Ago.
So
it wasn't in a public.
I'm all talk.
Oh, now I'm going to get ridiculed for that. It was not in a public place. There was nobody around, so don't even... Okay.
You're right. There was no one around. There was no one around. Okay.
We're moving on. Moving on. I hope that answered that question. That's a good question.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Next question. So, lady says, in episode 282, we answered and talked about a question about divorce. She emailed us and said, how in the world can you say that you're in support of divorce and that is okay? Because she says the Bible states that we should never get divorced. So
that's a good one.
We
could do an entire episode on that.
This is a podcast episode back then that we did talk about divorce, and Amy and I we're not pro-divorce, right? Everything we're doing with our podcasts and our app and everything is to try to help couples stay together. So we're not sitting here. I don't think we've ever come across and said, "Oh, you should just get divorced," and that we're promoting that. However, having said that, I come from divorced parents, and my parents now are a million times happier with their new spouses than they were when they were married, and they would have been miserable. It would have done such a disservice to everyone by staying married,
including the kids.
Including the kids. So, yeah, are there certain times when like people have given up in marriage, a spouse has given up and will not try? Do you think God wants you to be miserable the rest of your life? No, he does not. So I think there are certain circumstances when you've tried everything you can and you have a spouse that just isn't willing to try anymore and has pretty much given up, then yeah, I think there are times when divorce is okay, and Amy's giving me a grin, but yeah,
I have stuff to say. Yeah,
I absolutely think there are times when you've given all you've got, your spouse isn't willing to do anything. There's times when you're in an abusive relationship. Do you think God wants to just to sit in an abusive relationship? Absolutely not. He wants you to be happy. He wants you to find someone that's going to treat you the way you deserve to be treated. So, again, those are my thoughts. Of course, there's that balance. But again, that's just my thoughts. You can agree or disagree, and that's totally great. Everyone has their own opinion. But I don't believe that God wants you to be in an unhappy situation or an abusive situation. That's just my feeling.
I was going to add to that, but I think you covered it. Like, I 100% agree with that. Like, we're not pro-divorce, but in certain situations, I'm just going to be honest. In certain situations, I am pro-divorce. There are situations that I would never put myself in personally. I would never want a woman to stay in, or sometimes even a man to stay in. There are things that God in the Bible says we should not do. And when those are happening in a marriage, or your spouse changes after marriage and is doing awful things, that is not your fault. And there are times where I have seen many marriages come out of serious crap, and both people have gotten help and healing. Some have come back together. Some have gotten remarried. Some have found other spouses who treat them the way that God wants them to treat them. Every situation is different. I don't think we can condemn people that get divorced. And I think sometimes it can be the best thing in the world. And we're absolutely not pro-divorce. We absolutely want couples to do whatever they can to make their marriage passionate.
In fact, Amy divorced the old Nick. The old Nick is gone, and she remarried the new Nick in the relationship. So
it's just a statement. I didn't really divorce him and remarry him.
Well, the old Nick is gone.
Well, we kind of look at in marriages all the time. Like, we're, different. We go through stuff. We come out stronger. We hope that that's what's happening in most marriages. But there are times and places where we see that divorce is not always the worst thing. So you can disagree with us. Like we said, this is personal opinion.
Yeah, it's our
God wants us to be happy.
It's our podcast, so if you don't like it, too bad.
My heart gets ripped out with some stories that I've heard of marriages where women have stayed, and I'm sure men too. And it's heartbreaking to me. God does not want certain things happening in marriage. So there are situations where divorce is absolutely the right thing to do.
Agreed.
I want every marriage to thrive, though. You know how we feel about marriage.
That's why we do what we're doing.
We see couples come out of crazy hard stuff and become amazing spouses. That's what we're like. We don't want anyone to give up.
I don't think we've ever given advice like, you should just get divorced.
No. We have tons of professionals in all areas that we can recommend to people. Whatever they're going through, we see marriages turn around all the time. So unless it's serious addiction or abuse, like, we've seen marriages come back from full on breaking the line, we're getting divorced, to thriving like I've never seen thriving before.
And people have their free agency, and a lot of times spouses turn into completely different people
Absolutely.
after they get married.
Absolutely.
And that's not what you signed up for. So.
Absolutely. So, anyways, that's our advice on that one. That's just how we're going to answer it.
I love the next one. This is
gosh.
crazy.
I can't believe we got this question. You're going to listen and you're going to be like, what? What? I don't think anyone listening is going to even agree with this question at all. Do you want me to read it?
Read it.
Okay.
Read it loud and proud, baby.
She said, Amy, I don't even remember what this was on. Do you remember what this was? Was this a comment?
But yeah.
Oh, no, it was on a porn podcast that we got an email.
But listen to how she starts out. Amy, it's very like,
okay,
I'm coming after you.
Amy, with all due respect, you are missing it on porn. Women actually want their husbands watching porn. Why? First, they're watching porn, then they don't have to ask their wife for sex. Second, it gives the wife a get out of jail card. Now she has something on her husband and will play that card if she wants to divorce him. Like a buddy of mine says, it's so refreshing to see attractive women who actually want to have it, enjoy it, and look forward to it. Hold on. And make an effort for the other person to enjoy it. For those of us living in forced no-touch marriages, it's the only relief we have. That came from a husband.
Okay, this guy is living...
Obviously.
This guy is living in fantasy land.
He's not in reality anymore.
When he says, like a buddy of mine says, it's so refreshing to see attractive women who actually want to have sex and enjoy it. He's watching paid people that are getting paid to fake something.
And they're absolutely not enjoying
attractive.
Any ounce of it.
Exactly.
And it's fake. Probably. I don't know.
Exactly.
We don't watch it, so we don't know. But
okay,
where do we even start with this comment, right?
Okay, I bet...
Hold on.
I bet if we took a poll among our audience, he says, with all due respect, you're missing it on porn. Women actually want their husbands watching porn.
No.
If we let's take a poll on this, and see, and it's...
I don't even want to take a poll on that. That's disgusting. I can tell you that 99, unless a wife is the one with the problem, every wife would be like, no, I don't want my husband watching that. Most women feel like that is cheating. Most Christian women feel like porn is a form of cheating.
Absolutely, yeah.
So no, they don't want that. Second, she says, first they're watching porn and then they don't ask the wife for sex. Okay, 30% of our audience is now coming and saying, I'm the high drive wife. I want sex and my husband is the one rejecting me. So there's 30% of the audience. I guarantee the rest of our audience is actually wanting an intimate marriage. There might just be some barriers keeping them from wanting to be intimate, like emotional intimacy barriers that we talk about every single episode.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. Second, it gives the wife a get out of jail card. What does that even mean? What does that even mean?
I have no idea.
He's mean it's giving them an excuse to not have to do with their husband. Dude, like, you've got some serious barriers and things going on in your marriage to even think that a wife wants... Oh, I don't even know where to start. I'm going to get all hyped up on this one.
Oh, Amy's getting worked up. For those of you that can't see her, she's getting fired up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay.
And it's amazing how, let's just be honest, porn is not good. It's amazing how many people justify their actions as to why they're going to watch porn.
And I just have to bring myself down just a minute and be like, it's heartbreaking. The comments that I get of the women and the men suffering with it is heartbreaking.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I don't even want to get started on this because this whole podcast is not on porn. We have another one coming out really soon about the heartbreaking effects. But this is heartbreaking what it's doing to marriages. Like, having a comment even come at us like this, like, is heartbreaking.
Yeah, and I think it's just the point that he's so promoting it, like it's just such a wonderful thing, and that everyone should be doing it. And
well, he's pretty much telling us in those however many paragraphs that his marriage is a disaster.
Yeah.
Like, even those that you're missing it, they want it, they don't ask their wife for it anymore because of it. That just tells me that you have some serious disconnected issues that you are covering up in your marriage. Like, that's heartbreaking to actually hear this message from this guy. I feel bad.
And having said that, we do recognize why some people turn to porn, right?
Absolutely.
We do recognize that. Like,
well, I don't know that we recognize why. Like, there's not a valid reason, but we see so many people suffer from turning to it, right?
But what I'm saying is, like, if a wife is completely cut off anything, and again,
that's
there's
still
probably,
not a reason to turn to it. That's still not a reason,
but you can at least understand in your mind why someone would go that route. I'm not saying that it's right or anything like that.
I'm not saying it's the wife's fault. The whole thing we're saying is that there's a disconnect that needs to be
correct.
Solved, and a husband
and he's turning to it. He's turning to it to fulfill
a need. Yeah,
a need that he thinks this will fulfill his need, but he's going to find out it won't fulfill his need.
Well, obviously, it's making his marriage worse. So, anyways, okay, exactly. I don't know how much we have to cover on that. We have several pornography episodes. If you're not struggling with it, if you are struggling with it, if you're deep into it, if it's wrecked your marriage, if you're having resentment because of it, if you've overcome it, we have different episodes for all those. We have another one coming out soon with a guy who's been in every aspect of that and is helping people get out of it. Some great stuff coming up. So.
Yeah, and we truly care and want you to get that help, because as you're able to get out of it and overcome it, your marriage will be benefited in so many other ways.
Absolutely. Next one?
This one
is a total shift on what we were just talking about.
Hey, these are just questions and things that we got.
Yeah, so. We're just trying our best to answer them. Be patient with us, please. Number 4 was, why does your podcast say it's for healthy marriages? Okay, so in the opening of our podcast, it says, thank you for listening, or you are listening to the Ultimate Intimacy app. This podcast. This podcast is for couples in healthy marriages that want to make it better.
That have a good relationship, that want to make it even better.
So we just changed that. We just got done changing it. So if you go back and listen to, a couple ago, you'll hear the old message. I changed it to, because she had a valid point. I changed it to every couple who just wants to make their marriage better, or however I worded it, right?
Yeah. And what is healthy? What a healthy marriage could look different for everyone.
And that's our whole point. So yes, at the beginning, we realized we were like starting our podcast. So we're like, okay, we want like, couples in a good marriage that consider themselves healthy, that just want to spice it up. And then we realized, we're
not going to get like into deep.
No, we're not
trauma and
therapists. We're going to just talk about this stuff. But we have had a lot of people come on and talk about deeper stuff. We have kind of, with the questions and the comments and emails that we have gotten, we have done some episodes that are getting a little, more in depth with stuff going on. And so yeah, we did change that. She did bring up a really good, valid point. And I think the word healthy got us thinking. And like, what is healthy?
And I think for every marriage, it looks completely different.
And right? I think some people think perfect. And perfect isn't what healthy means. Like, I think we have a healthy marriage, and it's far from perfect.
Well, and you can have a healthy marriage and be at rock bottom. And you can have a healthy marriage and be at the top. Like, your relationship is going to be like a roller coaster, and you're going to have ups and downs and different things that you go through. It doesn't mean when you're going through really hard trials and it's just pulling you and testing you in every way, that doesn't mean your marriage is unhealthy, right? Like, you can still have a healthy marriage, but be going through some big trials and struggles. And so, yeah, it's good that we kind of changed that. And
I think healthy, to me, this is just my personal opinion, is that you're committed, that you have set boundaries, and that you know how to communicate. So that doesn't mean that the household split's going to be fair all the time and you've got that all worked out. It doesn't mean that there's going to be this passionate romance all the time and that's just always there. To me, healthy means that, like, we just got in a really big argument, which is, I'm just saying, like, as an example, the fact that we could talk about it, come back and reconnect emotionally and sexually means that we're a healthy couple and we have the tools to be able to move past that. Right? So it's really just having tools that you're like, okay.
You have the tools and you're utilizing the tools, right?
Yeah, because like you said, it's up and down, right? If you have the tools, you can bring yourself back up when things get hard.
Yeah, if your marriage is in a tough spot, just like fixing a car, if you have the tools, doesn't do you any good unless you utilize the tools to fix the car. So I love what you said. If you have the tools and you're implementing those tools to help your marriage, that is what a healthy marriage looks like.
Right. That's what I think it is. So
yeah, totally agree.
Anyways, yes, our podcast is not just for healthy couples. It's for whatever healthy looks like to you, and you just want to make it better. That's what our podcast is for. So we did change that. So she brought up a really good point there.
Yep.
Thank
you for bringing that up to us.
Yes.
And the next one is, my husband says he already dated me to get married, and that dating now is a waste of time and money. What are your thoughts?
Her question was kind of more like, how do I get him on board to keep dating me? Why doesn't he understand that? Why does he think that he can just date me and then stop?
So, first of all, as a husband, I don't know why you wouldn't want to date your spouse. Like, I mean, that's
fun.
Honestly, like, Friday night is what I look forward to every week. Is like, oh, Amy and I get to go out. We get to have a good time, whether it's by ourselves or with friends. Mm-hmm. Even if it's just for a couple hours, just to be with each other and have fun.
And so I want to just reiterate the word dating. To me, dating really just means pursuing. That can look different to everyone. You don't have to have a weekly date night on the town spending money to be dating your spouse. Dating your spouse could be, hey, I just want to be intentional tonight. Let's cuddle up and find our favorite show and grab some treats and just have some quality time. Or let's go on a picnic this week and take some food. Or let's go lay a blanket down in the backyard and watch the stars and use the conversation starters. Like, grab our free list of 50 date ideas at home if you're trying to date intentionally but not go spend money right now. Like, and there's tons of ways.
And if dating isn't important to you, maybe you don't know what you're missing. Because we've talked about this before. Amy and I were in a time in our marriage where we weren't dating at all, and we didn't really know what we were missing. But then when we started doing it, we're like, oh my heck, our relationship is completely changing, and our connection and everything. Like, So dating might not be important because you don't know what you're missing, but if you just start doing it, just like you were when you're dating and fell in love, this one simple thing of dating your spouse would solve so many issues in your marriage. Like if you have a marriage and that isn't where you want it to be, and we had one piece of advice, it would be go date each other.
Go date each other.
Yeah.
Have fun with each other.
And that would probably fix most people's relationship.
We can forget how to have fun together and to have quality time nowadays. Like we just put dating and each other on the back burner. We always are on our phones. We're not intentional. And I just want to say, and I know I said it probably in the previous one, but pursuing your spouse is literally what keeps your marriage thriving. And that's going to look different to every single couple. But husbands want to be pursued in their own ways. Wives want to be pursued in their own ways. Like it's really, really simple to put your marriage on the back burner, and that's not going to make your life happy.
Exactly. So get out and start dating each other. And we love getting these questions, even if they're like questions that want to destroy us or rip us apart. Like send us an email. Let us know what you think. We're cool. We can handle it. So yeah. And we'll share some of these on some of the next podcast episodes as well too. I mean, we're going to do these periodically where we talk about things that you're messaging us about and want to know more about, or at least share our thoughts on. And so keep emailing us at amy@ultimateintimacy.com.
We have something we're working on too, and we partnered with a really amazing therapist that we love. And so if there's questions that you're like, this is more of a question I would like for you to have a professional on to talk about, that's okay too. Because there's some things that we're like, I don't know. I don't know how I would answer that. And that's okay. So we're not offended by that either.
We don't get offended very easy. So yeah,
obviously.
Message us. And we really appreciate listening to the podcast. Go check out our great products that we have at shop.ultimateintimacy.com. If you're needing to connect as a couple as well, we have a great marriage retreat in 2025. Go check out the video. It is so much fun. You would have the time of your lives. Everyone raves at how much they enjoyed it.
Right.
And the food and the lodging and hanging out. It's a great time. So let us know how we can help your marriage. That's what it's all about. So until next time, we hope all of you find ultimate intimacy in your relationship.